There's the Gulf of Mexico. You can see the hurricane hunters are in there, and they just found a pressure now down to 968 millibars. With the 5 o'clock advisory, we were at 972, so we've dropped another 4 millibars here, and our friends, the hurricane hunters, are still flying around in Idalia, still gathering information, and this will be very important for the evening computer model runs. Look at the winds now, 100. I suspect here that in about 40 minutes from now, when we get the 8 o'clock intermediate advisory, we'll have winds that are probably 105, 110 maybe. It's going to be awfully close to a high-end Category 2 hurricane. There's the pressure as of 5 o'clock, again dropping 4 millibars and still moving to the north at about 16 miles an hour. There's that Earl Anthony bowling alley lane. It's just incredible how consistent, for the most part, the models have been with the Big Bend area. Now, I can't stop saying this because I got to drive this point home. Just because the cone is shrinking doesn't mean that the all clear is for us. It's not. This is just showing you where the core or the center of the storm is forecast to move over the next couple of days. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have tropical storm force wind gusts, because we've already had that today with the first band of showers and storms that came on through. And guess what? There are more bands developing down towards the south. I'm telling you, Kellyanne and Eric are going to be very busy come tomorrow morning as this is going by, and we're starting to see some of that next wave, the next couple of rounds of energy coming north as Idalia continues to move to the north. Buoy data here, not too impressive, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds, but what is impressive is look at the wave action, 30-foot seas. That wave action is driving and piling in that surge. The next time you see me, I'm going to update you and show you what the current live surge data looks like in the Tampa Bay area, because we have that data and I haven't shown that yet, and I'm going to do that for you coming up in just a little bit here. Look at the bands now kind of coming in from the south and the west. You can see we've got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for Putnam County just out of our viewing area as this cluster of storms has kind of pulsed on up. There's Daytona Beach. There's the Palm Coast area. You can see Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach, Flagler Beach. We've got that moderate to heavy rain moving on in. There's Shell Bluff. There's Crescent Interlaken there, and maybe just that little northeastern nook there of far northeastern Marion County could potentially be in that. There's Marion and Putnam County until about 8 o'clock. You can see people affected in this area, about 25,000 folks. Again, this is going to be in and out of Marion County awfully quickly as things are moving about 30 miles an hour. Again, the winds here with the storms have kind of weakened here into central and northern Brevard County with that line of storms that blew through rather quickly. You can see the I-4 corridor, the beach line, in good shape for now. So if you're running errands the next hour or two, you're going to be in good shape. The wind speeds now coming in from the south-southeast here at about, for the most part, less than 10 miles an hour. But as the storms kind of come on through, we do get some gusts from time to time as the squalls come on in. All right, with more on what to expect here as we go through the overnight and on into the morning tomorrow, let's check in with meteorologist Cam Tran.
Wondering if we can take a WSI2 now, because we do actually have a severe thunderstorm warning now. It is in effect for far northeastern Marion County. I don't know if we can take the shot here from the Weather Center, but I just want to show you it includes a very, very rural spot in far northeastern Marion County here. This is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. I want to show you it's with this band here that is moving through. It is right now producing a lot of heavy rain as well as a lot of lightning. Here's a look at the Jacksonville radar here as this continues to move off to the north. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. It is in far northeastern Marion County. It is moving off to the north at 35 miles per hour. So it's moving very fast. So it's more on the northeastern Marion County / Putnam County line. It's the one that Tony was mentioning earlier. And again, it should be moving out of Marion County fairly soon. So we do have just this one severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Marion County until about, it looks like 8 o'clock this evening. Otherwise, we've been stressing, honestly, all afternoon. The threat for severe weather is definitely something that we are watching as we go into the upcoming days. And that is because we are expecting severe weather to be an issue because of these outer bands with Idalia. So here's a look. Our severe weather risk for today a level 2 out of 5. And we are going to continue that threat even into tomorrow, level 2 out of 5 for tomorrow as well. So we're going to continue to see that threat of severe weather, not only just for tonight, but through tomorrow afternoon. You can see the yellows indicating yellow 2 out of 5, and the areas in the green indicating a level 2 out of 5 for severe storms in our area. So we're going to continue to monitor that for you as we go into the upcoming days. And we'll also monitor the risk for severe weather will be mostly tornadoes and damaging winds. Typically, we don't see hail when it comes to tropical systems or severe weather associated with tropical systems just because it's just so warm out. But here's a look at, on top of the threat for severe weather, we are expecting rainfall amounts between 5 to 7 inches for our far western counties. In the Orlando metro, about 3 to 5, and along the coast around 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. So as we take a look at some of the county by county impacts here for Idalia, I want to show you what you can expect in your neighborhood. And you may not hear your county in this hit, but we'll continue to track out county by county for you throughout the night. 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday is when we're expecting the worst of the weather in Flagler County. Wind speeds about 55 to 65 miles per hour, gusts up to 55 to 65 miles per hour, with rain amounts 2 to 4 inches and locally higher amounts. Can't rule out the threat for tornadoes or severe weather in Flagler County. Volusia County, about 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. is when we'll see the worst of the weather tomorrow. Winds of 45 to 50 miles per hour, gusts up to 65 at times. Rainfall amounts less along the coast to more inland, 2 to 4 inland. And we are also watching the threat for severe weather for tomorrow. You're currently under a tropical storm warning, and that's the case for Brevard County. Winds gusts of around 35 to 45 miles per hour. We are talking about the worst of the weather arriving early tomorrow morning. Now in Brevard County, you're not going to see nearly as significant in terms of winds or really rain for that matter, about 1 to 3 inches of rain, unless you get caught in one of those outer bands or squalls. We are going to see a tropical storm warning effect and isolated tornado threat for folks in Brevard County. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. We are going to make tomorrow a first warning weather day. We will see rain showers continue through the end of the week, but not related to Idalia. And then early next week, we start to dry on out. Back to you, Jim and Summer.
All right, Cam, thanks so much. We continue to follow the situation here in Central Florida as well as the hurricane, but it's the stormy weather here that's coming up from the south that has us most concerned.
Yeah, we have a lot of different advisories across Central Florida right now, specifically a tropical storm warning in Lake County, and that is where Haley Crumble-Home has been for the last several hours and gives us a look at what's going on there from the Lake County Emergency Operations Center.
They're busy planning, preparing right now, waiting for the storm to actually hit. And while Lake County Emergency Management Director says that they're expecting rain, she says that wind is what she's really concerned about.
So right now, what we are primarily concerned about is going to be those tropical storm force winds, tropical storm force wind gusts. We can expect to see gusts maybe up to 50 to 60 miles per hour. And we are also concerned about possible isolated tornadoes that could develop in some of the wind bands.
I asked her if there were any particular pockets of Lake County that she's worried about, that they're going to be focusing on. She says right now they're planning for the whole county, and they'll move their focus once the storm actually hits. In Lake County, Haley Crumble-Home, WESH 2 News.
From WESH 2, this is continuing coverage of Idalia.
This could have really significant storm surge on those coastal areas alongside the Big Bend. And storm surge of this magnitude is not something we've ever seen in this part of Florida in any of our lifetimes.
And a live look at the radar showing Doppler winds. And when you ever have red and green together, you know that things are changing direction. So the line coming off of Bradenton, pretty much south and west out of the Tampa Bay area shows where we have some conflict, and conflict in weather is never very good. Usually results in some kind of violence, and naturally it's tied to the storm that's probably, we've determined it to be about 130 miles off the coast of Florida, heading due north at this point and due to make landfall sometime tomorrow morning in the Big Bend.
Yeah, but those outer bands already reaching as far as Volusia County at some point. So this is a very big storm. storm. We've been talking about how the models were all in agreement. I think ponytail and a bowling lane is kind of the adjectives that have been used to describe it thus far. But everyone is pretty much in preparation mode right now. That is pretty much the name of the game and has been for a while. We're still expecting the storm to make landfall early tomorrow morning in the Big Bend area. West 2's Christina Watkins has been out there speaking with people. We actually saw, even though they're under an evacuation order, we did see some people still at a beach up there. We know coastal areas for sure in a lot of counties, not just up in Taylor County, have been told that they need to evacuate. But it's just a matter of whether or not people are going to listen. Otherwise, they're going to have to hunker down and wait for the storm to pass for emergency crews to be available to help if needed.
We've also been tracking the weather here in Central Florida, and the storm has been spinning off a couple of cells that have resulted in a couple of weather warnings. So we want to get the latest on all of this, and we'll check in with meteorologist Marquise Media.
Thank you very much, Jim. We're taking a look at the live radar right now, in which we do have an active severe thunderstorm warning. That's into Marion County right now. We'll see if we can zoom in just a little bit tighter on that. We see those active continuous rounds of rain and thunder, and also we did check in with our hurricane hunters. We actually saw the center pressure drop about 4 millibars since our last update, so we know that the system overall continues to intensify as we move closer to the 8 o'clock hour right now, and hopefully we can possibly use that information to continue to update our models as of the 8 o'clock advisory, which is just now going to be coming in the next half an hour. Tropical storm warnings are still outlined in blue. That's going to be east of the I-75 corridor. Out towards the west, still hurricane warnings do exist, as we will be anticipating those hurricane storm force winds of 75 miles per hour or greater out towards Marion County. We're taking a look now at the track of the system. No change over the last hour. Still anticipating a Category 3 as we move all the way into Wednesday morning. Landfall right around the Big Bend area. And we now see that system continuing to move north at 16 miles per hour. We're taking a look now in which we do see 100-mile-per-hour winds just offshore, probably about 150 miles offshore is where that center of rotation is taking place, but we see not just one outer band, but several outer bands making their way across western Florida. We'll check in with the water vapor right now and what's going to be guiding this system, making it take that turn towards the north and the east across the Big Bend and then into that Georgia-Florida line. It's going to be this trough. We see that slowly descending. Now, with a quicker descent, we might see a quicker turn, so we'll have to keep our eyes on this trough feature that is moving across the southeastern quadrant of our country. We'll continue to track with our satellite, a Category 2 moving across those warmer waters of the Gulf, continuing to move towards the north and the east. Wave heights, this is huge information here. 30-foot wave heights just around the center of rotation of that Category 2. And we'll see those wave heights increase as we move towards the north and the east. And of course, those increased wave heights will translate to the storm surge, which is one of the most dangerous elements of any tropical system or hurricane that is approaching the coast. We'll take another look at the satellite imagery right now, in which we do see those outer bands of rain continuing to move towards the north and the east, tracking across western Florida right now. And here's a shot at your live radar when we have that active severe thunderstorm warning into Marion County. That's set to expire at 8 o'clock. I have a strong feeling that won't be the only warning that we will see tonight, with those outer bands of rain continuing to move towards the north and the east. Still ongoing lightning strikes moving across Shell Bluff. Looks like Palatka. We do have those ongoing lightning strikes. Putnam County, you guys are under that warning. Actually, it encompasses more of Putnam County than it does Marion County. Still moving towards the north, right around 30-mile-per-hour speed. So here are some of the cities that will see that direct impact with those stronger storms, gustier winds, and rounds of rain that could inundate rather quickly. So 840, St. Augustine Beach, Butler Beach, you could possibly see that rain on your way by 825. A little bit earlier, Crescent Beach, you'll see it at 817. So we do have this system tracking rather quickly across the I-95 corridor. Also, we do have that element of possible hail, most likely less than 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Very unlikely that you see hail in relation to any tropical event, but we can't rule it out quite yet.